Thank you, guys. All right, as Kent and Laura know, I am the parent of 3 teenagers, and I'm here to tell you there ought to be a law, some kind of state statute, something that prohibits that. 3 younger kids, too, but 3 teenagers in the house now. Anybody else with teens in the home knows they can be a little hard to connect with, more than a little sometimes. In fact, many adults are actually just flat out intimidated by teens. Well, no need to fear the teenage years, my friends, because Dr. Tim Jordan is coming to the rescue. He's here to offer some tips to help us connect with teens. Good luck, buddy. Nice to have you here.
Yeah,
How
thanks.
are you? Important conversation to have. And there's a lot of interesting tips here. I don't want to shortchange you time-wise, but one of the first things you say out of the gate has to do with your teens' friends. Connect the dots there.
Well, respect is a huge piece when you want to have a good relationship with a teenager. So not only do you need to respect them, but also respect their friends and not judge them. Because what teens will say to me is when they judge my friends, they're judging me. When they're critical of my friends, they're being critical of me. So I'd be careful about what you say.
Right before we went on, you said one of the more interesting things we should talk about is this idea of permission.
Yeah.
As a parent, what's native, what feels natural, is that your children should be asking you for permission. You say there are times when we need to flip that on its head and ask for their permission. Explain what you mean.
I've learned this for many years in working with teenagers, is that if I want to give them some feedback or if I want to give them a suggestion, I always ask permission first. I'll say, can I give you a suggestion about that? If they give me one of those, sure, eye-rolling things, I'll say, I don't have to, it's okay.
Okay.
And they'll say, okay, fine. I'll say, are you sure? I might literally go to that extent, because if they say, yes, I want to hear it, then they listen. If they're like, no, of course, whatever, then you're just yapping and yapping, and it's going right over their heads. So I think if you ask permission to give feedback, they're much more likely to take it in.
We've talked about it on this show before, too, where sometimes the eye roll is almost their way of saying, okay. You know, it's not an outright no.
Yeah.
It's like an eye roll, but I'm still going to listen. So it's interesting to kind of go down that permission route.
And to get clear, are you sure
Yeah.
he wants a suggestion?
Right. Go back a second or third time just to confirm. You also say that, you know, I feel like woven through all of this is trust. At the end of the day, it sounds like you just need to, and this can be very difficult, easy to say, hard to do. You just need to trust them more.
And that, hopefully that builds over 18 years before they go off into the world.
Here's hoping.
But there comes a point in high school, in middle and late high school especially, when they need to start learning that they know what's best for them more than you do. And that's a hard one for parents to let go of. It's also a hard one sometimes for teens to embrace. They need to know what's right for them. They need to start thinking for themselves and making choices and decisions for themselves. And we need to let go of that sense of we know what's best for them, because we're not them. We know them, we think we do, but they have to start, creating their own mind, their own mindset, and their own path.
And understand that not flipping a switch, that happens with time.
It's a process.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Always good stuff. You can hear more from Dr. Jordan, by the way, by listening to his podcast, Raising Daughters. And yes, he even has an episode on this topic, how to connect with teens. We'll also post this segment on our website, firstalert4.com/greatday, right after the show. Thanks again, Doc.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Love listening to Tim Jordan talk about kids and raising kids. Boy, that is good stuff.
And I'm sure that conversation probably brought back some memories for you.
More than a few.